With today's loss to the Detroit Lions, the Chicago Bears are now guaranteed a top 4 pick in April's NFL draft. Even if they somehow beat the Vikings next week, the worst we can pick is 4th now. There are also only 3 other teams that we have to worry about: the Texans, Broncos, and Cardinals. That's it. Other teams don't matter at all when it comes to our draft position. Also, with how bad we played today, I don't see much chance of beating the Vikings. Even though they're also losing badly this week, they will have a shot at the number 1 seed next week, but could fall all the way to the 3rd seed. I expect the Vikings to play us tough. They also don't want to enter the playoffs on a 2-game losing streak. Meanwhile, for the Bears, today's loss was one of the worst I've seen in years. It was tough to watch all around, but the good news is they still have a chance to get the number 1 overall pick in the draft. The Texans, Broncos, and Cardinals all lost this week, so we got no help there. But the situation going forward is pretty easy, so I'll cover the scenarios quickly. If we lose to the Vikings, we will get the number 2 or number 1 pick, period. If the Texans win and we lose, then we get the number 1 pick. If we both lose, then we get the number 2 pick. That's it. As far as if we lose the game, we're either going to pick 1st or 2nd. The Texans play the Indianapolis Colts next week, who currently pick 5th and are in the same division as the Texans. We want the Texans to beat the Colts next week to give us a shot at the number 1 pick. As I said, if we lose, we can only pick 1st or 2nd. The only way we can fall to 3rd or 4th is if we win. If we win against Minnesota, then the Texans game doesn't matter anymore, and our pick would land either 2nd, 3rd, or 4th. If we win, then it's the Broncos and Cardinals games that matter. If neither of them win, then we'd pick 4th. If one of them win, we'd pick 3rd. If they both win, we'd keep the 2nd pick. So not very complicated. We most likely will end up with the number 2 pick overall in the draft. We need the Texans to win to get the 1st pick. Now I will talk briefly about last night's college football bowl games. The college football playoff games were simply awesome yesterday. Both were very competitive and entertaining games. I was watching a lot of draft prospects, but I want to touch briefly on Will Anderson Jr. versus Jalen Carter. I will say this: Jalen Carter had more than 10 plays that Matt Eberflus would have considered loafs. Possibly a lot more than 10. He did not have a dominant performance. Luckily, Jalen Carter does get another chance in the championship game versus TCU. Meanwhile, Will Anderson showed some awesome flashes in Alabama's bowl game win and heads into the draft season with some momentum. That being said, if we get the top 2 pick, I would like the Bears to trade down. If any team is interested in moving up to get a quarterback, we need to hope that CJ Stroud did enough for a team to fall in love with him, or that someone really likes Will Levis. Either way, a trade down for more picks, even if we only go down a couple of spots, is probably the best path going forward. Stay tuned, guys. I have my first free agent positional preview video coming tomorrow. I will cover my top 10 defensive tackles and some honorable mentions. Stay tuned, hit that like button for me, and until next time, bear down.